And Honorable Jibrin comes from that northwest region that has the strongest hold on the House of Reps in the APC.
So what kind of figures do you have for the Speaker and Honorable Jibrin?
Now, let's look at Honorable Jibrin and Honorable Dogara head to head. What is interesting is both represent a constituency that they have above 500,000 individuals living there. The challenge today is, based on the National Literacy Report, Honorable Dogara comes from a region where the National Literacy Report states that only 47% of adults living in his constituency can speak English language. Honorable Jibrin comes from a constituency where only 14% of adults, according to the National Literacy Survey, can only speak English language. Now, here's what it means. It means more than half of those that voted them cannot even spell National Assembly. So when we look at constituency projects and what has caused a lot of the problems, it is because the members are disconnected from what is the reality. The reality is, and which is the fact, that in 2013, the budget of special intervention, which is the constituency project, was 100 billion naira. That was what was in that proposal. Fact. In 2014, the proposal again was 100 billion naira. Fact. In 2016, we don't have 100 billion naira anymore in the proposal. What we have is 60 billion naira. So 40 billion naira has been shaved off. And from my research and from the evidence, the discussion in the House now is, how do we share only 60 billion naira? We have 109 senators, we have 360 House representatives. Now the discussion is, because the House of Representative members have 360, perhaps they should take 60%, and that is what is going on right now. Now, if the House of Representative members take 60%, then it simply means each zone will have 6 billion naira each, and that is part of the problems that have been caused today.
This money you're talking about, showing that it's money that's meant for constituency projects, right?
Constituency projects.
So, what you're saying is that there's a likelihood the money is meant to be shared, not necessarily the project. Now, is that what we're looking at?
Based on principles, the representative members do not hold on to their cash. There are two challenges. The first challenge is, prior to now, the budget for constituency projects was 100 billion naira.
But now it's 60 billion.
Now it's 60 billion naira.
But now, they keep saying that these monies, they are not the ones that execute the project.
The
projects are supposed to be executed by the executive. So why, if the projects are going to be executed by the executive, why the bickering?
The bickering is because the value that is appropriated to each constituency changes. Now look at this. Based on the distribution of 36 billion naira, now all these monies do not go to these members that you see here, but they are appropriated to their constituency. So if we look at 60% of the 60 billion naira, each zone is meant to have 6 billion naira. The challenge is, for instance, the Northwest Zone has 7 states. So each state will not get 1 billion naira. Each state will only get 857 million naira. The bigger challenge for a state like Kano that has 24 reps, it means that each representative will not be able to get, in terms of projects that will go to his constituency, more than 35 million naira. In Lagos, you've got 6 states as well. Each state will get 1 billion naira, approximately. A state like Lagos has 24 reps. So one rep member will not get more than 42 million naira. The bigger challenge is, if we look at the South-South, that has 6 states, and you look at Delta, for instance, Delta has 10 reps members. Each will be able to go with a higher sum because they have fewer representatives.
But it turns out that the reverse is the case, because Honorable Guma says there was one from Alambra State who got nothing for his constituency. And so, well, would there not be fights in the House? But Marpa likes to bring a question in, so let's get Marpa in. Marpa?
Well, I want Jide to explain a little more what he means by, padding revenue. I mean, padding, income, because, income has to be earned. Even if you project that, you're going to earn so much and you don't work to get it, or you're not able to get it by, how do you then pad income?
Now, the challenge is, the problem is we focus so much on the medium-term expenditure framework. And as long as we keep focusing on expenditure without focusing on revenue, we'll have a problem. It's easy to appropriate and spend money. And that is the challenge we have today. The challenge we have today is we have a budget that the focus is on how do we appropriate, how do we spend, and that creates the challenge of padding. However, if we focus on how do we make more money, so for instance, will we have so much...
The House of Representatives, just a moment, Jude. The House of Representatives will tell you that, there's always been this discussion over, what they call that now, the estimates from oil. Because if you follow what's been going on with the National Assembly and the estimates, the projected revenues from oil, there's always been an ongoing debate between the National Assembly in general and the executive arm of government in terms of what the peg should be, the benchmark price crude should be, with the executive always wanting a conservative figure and the National Assembly wanting a higher figure in comparison to obtaining rates as at that time. Would that be padded income for you, or would it mean something else?
Here's what padding income means. The Minister of Planning last month says our budget for value-added tax so far this year, based on the estimates, was 99 billion naira, out of which we've only earned 52 billion naira. So we are 40 billion naira short on value-added tax. So what we need to do is find a way of increasing our value-added tax to ensure that it meets what we had budgeted for. Now, increasing is what will be said in corporate terms, but what we really need to do is find a way to ensure that we get up to that revenue projection. And whatever it is, we could call it padding revenue, whatever we want to call it, we could call it. Once we're able to increase our revenue, the discussions will move away from how we spend money, because we cannot spend what we do not earn. So our discussion should focus on how the legislators review and reappropriate and plan on the budget, so that we are not just spending, we are making much more money. Because at the moment, we always meet our padding projections. We never meet our revenue projections.
Oh dear, that's not what it should be, but that's where, incidentally, we thank you for coming on Babajide Ogunsanwo, Channel CV's data and information analyst. And then subsequently, we'll also find out if all those projects are actually being done, but the monies end up in people's pockets. Well, this is why we end the show today. We thank you for watching. I'm Chamberlain Osal.
I'm Neo Tarigwe. Thank you.
It's been an interesting week. Thank you. I'm Maokwe Ogun.